Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's episode 53, Steve. And I tell you what, now our next guest, it's time for our club focus, but our next guest, she has been, she's been a player. She's been a very respected coach. And now she's also, and she's been an administrator for a long, long time as well. But she's now also the president of certainly one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club registration-wise in the Geelong region. We're talking about the president of the Surf Coast Football Club, Mariela Pocklington, joining us on the show. A very, very warm welcome, Mariela. How are you? And thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. It's been a whirlwind 3 weeks, I think, for me, being president of the club, considering I started as the club secretary at the start of this season.
Yep.
So, yes, appreciate you having me on.
Well, now I may stand corrected, but are you not the first female president at Surf Coast Football Club?
I've been told yes.
There you go. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, that's a big honour, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Mariela, you've been involved with the club for many, many years. As we said, as a player, as a coach as well, and now the president. First of all, before we talk about yourself, let's also pay a little bit of homage, I guess, to the previous president, Steve Christie, who was still involved with the club, but he did have a little bit of an unfortunate industrial accident last year, and that's one of the reasons why he stepped down. But I believe he's still, you can't keep a good man down. He still lurks around the club, just making sure that you're doing a good job. Is that right?
Yeah, he's still around. He didn't really want to step down, but obviously he's got a long road ahead of him for recovery, and he's doing well. But I think to have the presidency on his plate as well, it would have been too much for the year, especially coming back after last year. There's a lot of work to be done, so he opted to step back. But yeah, he's still around, and I'm still speaking to him on a regular basis as well, because he still wants to be part of the setup. He loves the club.
Very good. And Steve here, Mariela, thanks for joining us as well. And tell us a little bit about Saturday's season launch that took place down at the club. How did everything play out there?
Yeah, it was good. The rain held off. We were a little bit worried that it was going to start raining earlier in the day. But we had a jumping castle, petting zoo, sausage sizzle. And I guess we didn't know what to expect, especially given 2020 was cancelled. So we had some good numbers come down, a lot of interest, especially with our young kids. They wanted they want to register. I think there's a bit of hesitancy at the moment, but I think for the most part, they enjoyed themselves, and we had Western United down as well. So that was good. The kids enjoyed that. It was a good few hours, and I think especially with the parents, they were loving catching up with each other, especially some of them who haven't caught up with each other for the last 12 months.
We had a little bit of footage there as we were speaking of Saturday's big day. Numbers-wise, we've talked about COVID affecting clubs in different ways, and one of those things is the unknown factor at the moment, because people are sort of still pinching themselves and saying, "No, it's too good to be true that we're going to have a football season this year." Look, let's hope we are going to have a full and complete football season this year. How are numbers, firstly, how are numbers at the club compared to maybe the pre-COVID era, and secondly, how did the COVID pandemic affect the club?
So for us, at the moment, we're for example, mini roos are probably about 40% down on numbers from 2019, or from our projections even for the start of 2020 before all this hit. And we are down a handful of junior teams as well, which is to be expected. I think there was a point where we thought we may not have a lot of junior teams, because, like I said, parents are hesitant in registering their kids. But we've now got one under 12 boys, one under 13s, one under 15s, which is good, one under 13 girls and one under 15 girls. We do have one women's side, which is good, and we do have 2 Sunday men's teams registered as well, and that was a pleasant surprise for us because we weren't sure what was happening there either.
Mariella, have you spoken to other club presidents? Are other clubs in the same boat, or is this something that's quite unique to your club that you're aware of?
No, I haven't had a chance to I guess do the rounds of other club presidents yet, but I know from in speaking with other sports and whatnot that all numbers are down across the board. So it'll be interesting to see as we head towards the season whether parents go, oh, look, there's a season, let's try and register. But I think for a lot of clubs who are trying to plan, that's not ideal because there won't be coaches around. There may not be the volunteers around because we've kind of planned for those that have registered now. And so that's, the fine line we're treading. We're treading at the moment. I'm assuming it's kind of the same for other clubs as well.
So having said that, do you expect that there could well be a big influx of kids and parents wanting to get their kids when they can see that, actually we are going to have a season?
Yeah, I think so. I know I've heard a few parents say, oh, no, we're going to wait. And we're trying to say, don't wait. Because we're actually planning for coaches now. And if you come later, we're not going to have a coach for you. We're not going to have a position for you. Unless you come with a whole team and somebody willing to coach you, it's kind of a little bit late. And I know that sounds rough, and we'll try and work with people as much as we can, but at the same time, there's people who have shown faith, not just for our club, for other clubs as well within the region and across Victoria, said, we'll put our money there and we'll play.
Yeah, no, I think you're quite right, Mariella. You've got to put your foot down and tell people how it is in this situation. You're doing your best to organise a very difficult set of circumstances. So now, speaking of numbers, how's things on the committee? Are you looking to pick up a few more people on the general committee at the moment?
Yeah, so we've not just Steve stepping back. We've had another resignation as well. So we're looking for another person at least to step up. I mean, the group that we've got, they're all go-getters. And it's rare. I know I've sat on many committees over the years, and it's rare to get a full complement of go-getters and who want to, get stuff done and will take on those small and large jobs. So we're kind of blessed, but I'm also mindful of not wanting to burn people out by the time we hit June. So we've just got to be careful with that.
Now, give us a little bit of an insight into the running of a committee, particularly now in this, let's call it the post-COVID era, or the current, because there are obviously all sorts of government regulations in addition to everything else that is involved in running a club. And let's face it, vast majority of clubs, 99.95%, are run by volunteers who give up their very cherished spare time. So give us a bit of an insight what it's like running a club nowadays.
Now that COVID's happened, there's a whole other, like you said, there's a whole other level of things that we need to be mindful of, and we just, I guess, for the way we're treating it at Surf Coast is let's not try and do the extra stuff that we normally would have done pre-COVID. Whether it's special kind of academy training, special. I know at one stage they were talking about futsal. Let's not do that. Let's just do our core tasks. So put teams on the park, get coaches for them, make sure they have a really good season because 2020 was bad. Nobody kicked a ball and everybody was miserable. So let's just give these guys an experience that they'll love. And so we're keeping it simple. For us anyway. But with that does come its challenges because you have parents who possibly now can't afford to play football. So I know for our club, we've opted to go, okay, well, if you're in financial difficulty, tell us and we'll work something out for you. Because, for us, I don't know how other clubs are working, but we've always paid up, when you register, you pay your full amount. So, we've opted to go, well, we don't want anybody to stop playing, but if you want to play, we'll help you out as best as we can. And we'll just make sure that we've got some good coaches. We're trying to get them accredited, trained up, so then our players have, some knowledgeable people that are coaching them. So we're just trying to keep things as simple as we can, even for ourselves, because, like I said, we don't want to burn out as a group. We don't want to get to the end of the season and just hate what we've done, because it's just been a hard slog. So, yeah, I guess that's probably the simple answer to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, on a positive note, a lot of positive things happening down the Surf Coast, and right adjacent to Banyul Warrior Reserve, the Surf Coast Shire has just opened up a fantastic new indoor facility that's going to be a real futsal mecca in years to come, no doubt. Obviously, other sports will be using it as well. But there's also plans afoot there at Banyul Warrior Reserve to expand the club rooms, is there, or grandstand? Tell us how that's progressing.
So at the moment, we're at a stage where plans are being signed off. So design of the club rooms. So that's where that's at, and that's part of the an election commitment that was made a few years ago to the Shire to build those club rooms specifically for us. Because whilst people see that we have this enormous pavilion, it's actually not ours. So we don't have our pennants, our trophies hanging up in there. We're not allowed to. This extra room will allow us to do that and to make it our true home. So yeah, that's very exciting for us.
Can't wait to see that eventually come to fruition. That would be fantastic. Steve, well, before we move on, Mark Wyeth, the coach of the senior women's team, he's in the green room now, eagerly awaiting us. So Surf Coast fans, don't go away. We'll be talking to Mark very, very shortly. But in the meantime, Steve, any more questions for Mariella?
I guess just one last one for me, Mariella. How are the coaching stocks going at the moment? And what's Mika's involvement down there these days? I remember he was doing a sterling job with the Sunday teams back when I was having a kick around down there, nearly 10 years ago now, probably. Time flown by.
So whether we're both crazy or not, we're both sitting on the committee. He's doing all our registrations. And so he's doing a great job there. He's planning to put on the boots as well again this year. So, yeah, he's quite involved.
Fantastic.
Well, hopefully you've got time that you can all take a nice family holiday at some point.
That'd
recharge at some point mid-season or something even.
Yeah, that's the dream. Even getting to Queensland at this stage is who knows.
Good luck.
Yeah. Fantastic, Mariella. That is great to hear. Hopefully this little conversation, if you like, does provide a lot of inspiration to other club administrators, and in particular the super family that is the Pocklingtons. Mariella and Mika both on the committee. And you've got, how many little ones have you got at the moment?
I've only got the one, and she's starting our Kickstart program.
Brilliant! Look at that.
So she's
week of involvement there at the football club.
Yeah. Before I go, I do want to mention our sponsors because they have stuck with us even during 2020, which we are so appreciative of. The first one being Torquay Stock Feeds, who is our longest running sponsor for the club. Also Nutlex, who they were happy to continue sponsoring us. Surfside Dental, and we've got a brand new one in Four Pines Brewery in Torquay, and we appreciate them sponsoring the club as well. And all
That's
our
very tasty sponsorship deal, that one, Mariella.
It is. We're really excited about that one.
And the other two as well, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely. Nutlex, very, very good. Spreadable there for the breakfast. Yeah, Mariella, once again, thank you very much for joining us. All the very, very best in season 2021 to yourself and to the rest of the crew there, and to all the teams at Surf Coast. We look forward to coming down and to Banyule Warrior Reserve. Always a very hospitable place to visit. I certainly love coming down there, making a day of it.
Thank you for having me on.